This is the story of the Festival of Fire. Hidden deep in the jungle, a city of stone sleeps beneath a canopy of emerald green. Vines creep up moss-covered walls and trees reach their gnarled branches towards the heavens. Determined to reclaim the sky as nature's own, sunlight filters down between the leaves, painting dancing patterns on the ancient ground where once a great civilization thrived. But these lost people are not gone. Their spirits linger in the crumbling architecture, whispering stories of a glorious past. Across the world, on a windswept plateau, another forgotten city dreams beneath a blanket of snow. Jagged peaks pierce the frozen sky, and ice-laden winds whip across empty streets. Still, the echoes of a vibrant culture linger here too, petroglyphs carved into frozen rock, and the memories held in the hearts of mountains. And then there are the flames, the eternal flames carried on the breath of the ancestors and passed down through generations to keep alive the memory of the Festival of Fire. In this forgotten realm, the sun god awakens from his long slumber in the underworld. Each day he rises anew, conquering darkness and dispelling fear. As the first rays of sunlight touch the horizon, the land stirs. Small village wakes to greet the new day. Villagers don animal skins and colorful masks, transforming themselves into spirits of the forest. Armed with torches and drums, they set off into the hills, their goal, the mountain's peak where the great fire awaits. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the pace quickens. Villagers race against time, leaping over fallen trunks and scrambling up steep slopes. Then, just as the sun reaches its zenith, they arrive breathless and ecstatic at the summit. There, in a circle of stones, a giant bonfire roars, tended by an ancient priestess whose eyes blaze with power. One by one, the villagers approach the flames, offering gifts of fruit and flowers before joining hands in a great circle dance. The air crackles with energy as the rhythm builds, and the dancers move faster and faster until they are a blur of limbs and color. Suddenly, the priestess raises her arms, calling for silence. The music stops abruptly and all eyes turn to the sky. A hawk circles lazily overhead, its keen eyes watching the proceedings below. As if by magic, it drops a small object into the center of the circle. It's a burning torch, carried aloft by unseen hands, and held high above the dancers' heads. With a final flourish, the priestess throws back her head and lets out a triumphant cry. The flames leap high, carrying her voice to the sun god in the sky. Now, it's time for the most daring part of the ritual, the fire walk. Each villager takes a turn stepping into the center circle, walking barefoot across red-hot stones and diving into the heart of the fire. Some stumble, others fall to their knees, but none turn back. For each step they take in the fire strengthens their connection to their ancestors and the ancient wisdom they embody. Finally, the last villager completes the fire walk and collapses, exhausted but exhilarated into the welcoming arms of the community. Together, they have done what no one could do alone, honoring the sun god with a blaze of glory and ensuring the light will conquer darkness once more. The sun begins its slow descent towards the western mountains, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson as it goes. In the heart of a vast desert, a lone figure stands silhouetted against the blazing horizon. His name is Inti, and he is the keeper of the sacred flame. It's the last descendant of a long line of fire dancers who have kept the ancient tradition alive for centuries. Each evening, as the sun sets behind the dunes, Inti performs a ritual dance to honor his ancestors and the celestial bodies that guide them. Tonight, however, he dances with a heavy heart, for he is old, and soon it will be time to pass on the flame to a younger generation. Suddenly, a small figure emerges from behind a sand dune, a young boy with bright, inquisitive eyes and a thirst for adventure. He has watched Inti's dances from afar and longed to learn the secrets of the flickering flames. Seeing the boy's eagerness, Inti smiles and nods his head. It's time to share the wisdom of the ancients. First, Inti teaches the boy how to hold a torch, then to twirl and toss it in the air, catching it deftly with outstretched hands. The boy learns quickly, his movements growing more confident and graceful with each passing moment. As the moon climbs higher in the sky, Inti reveals the most important part of the dance, the storytelling. Through leaps and twirls, he recounts tales of bravery and adventure, of love and loss, and of the eternal struggle between light and dark. The boy listens intently, his imagination soaring with each tale. When the dance is finished, Inti hands the torch to the boy and steps back, his heart swelling with pride. It is good to know that the tradition will continue. As the first rays of sunlight touch the desert sands, the boy strikes a heroic pose. A torch held high above his head like a blazing crown. He has become Inti, the sun god, bringing light and hope to the world. And so the festival of fire lives on, carried on the shoulders of those who dare to dream of a world illuminated by the power of the sun. In the heart of a lost city, a temple rises majestically heavenward, its steps leading to a platform where a colossal statue of the sun god surveys the landscape. High priests adorned in brilliant robes chant ancient hymns, their voices echoing with power and conviction. At their feet, two figures writhe in agony, bound tightly to an altar made of polished black stone. They are prisoners captured in a distant war, destined to be sacrificed to the gods. One of the captives struggles against his bonds, fear and anger twisting his features. The other, however, remains eerily still, his face impassive, despite the rope that binds him hand and foot. When the high priest approaches with a sacrificial dagger, the first prisoner screams in terror, thrashing wildly as the blade cuts deep into his flesh. Blood spills forth, staining the stone a dark crimson. But the second prisoner shows no emotion, not even as the life drains from his eyes. Then something extraordinary happens. As the priest turns to claim the second victim, a blinding flash of light erupts from the sky. The priests recoil, shielding their eyes from the sudden brightness. When they look up, they see a magnificent winged disc hovering above the temple, bathing the plaza in golden light. Atop the disc stands a figure clad in flowing robes, holding a staff that crackles with energy. With a wave of his hand, the bonds holding the prisoners shatter into 1,000 pieces. The freed captives stare in awe at the newcomer, then at the priests, who now cower before them. The winged disc hovers patiently in the air, waiting for its master to speak. Finally, the leader turns to the assembled crowd and announces, "The sun god has heard our prayers and sent me to deliver his message. From this day forward, there shall be no more war and no more bloodshed in this city. Let the fields lie fallow and the weapons rust in their sheaths. Let there be peace and plenty for all my children." The crowd erupts into cheers, their cries of joy echoing through the ancient stones. The leader raises his staff, and the winged disc takes flight, disappearing into the azure sky. As the sun climbs higher, casting its warm glow over the rejoicing crowds, a sense of wonder fills the air. Could this be the dawn of a new era, an age of peace and prosperity for all? Only time will tell. But for now, the people celebrate, giving thanks to the sun god for his mercy and for the promise of a brighter future. And as the sun sets over the horizon, the last embers of the festival of fire fade away, leaving behind nothing but ashes and memories. Yet the spirit of the celebration lingers in the hearts of those who witnessed it, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, the sun will rise again. The forgotten voices of the sun still burn within us,